Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We're getting right into our second segment of the night. We are talking about Thursday's leaderboard at the Memorial. What we saw from the Memorial today was a lot of guys went out there and played some fantastic golf, and it is the biggest names in golf pretty much that fill up this leaderboard. You have Adam Hadwin, who is a fantastic golfer in his own right. He is the most kind of surprising name on this leaderboard. Finishing 6 under, he gets sole possession of the day one lead. Day one leaders usually don't pan out unless they make a fantastic run in the tournament, so we'll keep an eye on him on Friday, but I don't expect to see him we don't expect to see him winning the tournament when it comes around to Sunday. But I think when you move on from Adam Hadwin, this is when you get into the bulk of guys that really can make a run on Sunday. Scotty Scheffler, the biggest name, of course, in this field. We talk about him, how fantastic of a run he just had before his child was born, including winning the Masters. Disappointing performance at Valhalla, and he still got 8th in that tournament. But for him, of course, that's a disappointing performance. He comes out in this signature event where 700 FedEx Cup points are up for grabs. $25 million are in the purse, one of the biggest purses that there is on tour every year, the Memorial Tournament. And he comes out, shoots 5 under. Now he has a baby to play for, so got a lot of diapers to pay for. Scotty Scheffler is your day one second place at 5 under, the only one of only 2 players to have a 67 or worse, or 67 or better. Him and Adam Hadwin are the 2 there. Scotty Scheffler, fantastic for him getting to 5 under. He played fantastic golf the entire day. Only bogey came on 5, which was kind of just a horrible second shot, kind of led into this bogey. He missed so there's water on the top side of this green. He missed the water somehow far, so he's on a shelf of rough that led to a very difficult kind of chip shot that he missed the green with. Then he flatted, or he duffed his second chip shot from that resulting one. And then he had another chip shot from. Yeah, I mean, when you're chipping 3 times, that makes it very difficult for you, especially on a par 5. This was a good scoring opportunity for him. He definitely could have gotten on this screen in maybe in probably 4 or in probably 3 and had a chance at birdie, but he wasn't able to. But the rest of his day was pretty flawless. 11, 13, 15, and 18 he birdies. He birdies 18. One of only I had the stat up. I think one of only like 5 or 6 people to birdie 18. Very difficult hole to birdie. He got a 340-yard drive to help him birdie this hole. He's driving the ball very well, and that's kind of very scary for the field when that guy is getting a hold of balls. Of course, he's going to be one of the favorites to win. Right now, he's plus 185 to win at the Memorial. It's only Thursday, and he's plus 185. This is things that we're seeing. That is odds that we are used to seeing going into a Sunday. It is Thursday, and we're already seeing this. So, big up to Scotty Scheffler. I mean, that just goes to show how fantastic he is all around and how amazing he's playing. But the number 2 guy in the world, the number 2 guy in my rankings, Xander Schauffele, is right behind him at 4 under. He is second in the FedEx Cup standings, the reigning PGA champion. Xander Schauffele hasn't played since that win at Valhalla, but he showed no rust, birdieing 4, 7, 11, 15, bogey-free card, and on a Thursday, there is nothing better than a bogey-free card. You want to start your tournament off right, but you want to start it off consistently, and that's exactly what he did. Very impressive round for Xander Schauffele, who was paired up with Victor Hovland, who also had a very impressive round, but he's tied 7th, and we'll talk about him a little bit later once we get down the leaderboard. But Ludwig Oberg tied for 3rd as well, with Xander Schauffele at 4 under. The pack of 4 under guys, all of them, a real theme was consistent play. Ludwig Oberg is one of the most consistent guys we have in the entire field, is able to drive the ball very far, about 330, and hits a lot of his tee shots onto the fairway. A fantastic fairway in regulation player is is Ludwig Berg, and he really capitalizes. He birdies 1, 5, 13, 14, and 15, and only gets a bogey on 12, which can you blame him for a bogey on 12, the second hardest hole on the golf course? Very difficult one. He ends up in a greenside bunker on that, and that is why he gets into the trouble that he did on 12. Moving on, you have Corey Connors, who is also up here, tied for third. This guy had a very impressive Sunday at the RBC Canadian Open, ended up finishing as the top Canadian in that tournament, in the RBC Canadian Open, so impressive for him. He only gets a bogey on 18. Can you blame him for the bogey on 18? We talked about how difficult that hole is. It is the most difficult hole on the course. Corey Connors, of course, was 5 under going into that 18th hole. Unfortunately, isn't able to join Scotty Scheffler at the end of the day in the clubhouse at second, but does very well to get to third. Only one bogey on the day. Colin Morikawa is your last of the 4 unders group. He played fantastic, opening his day on number 2 with an hole out eagle from the fairway. He drives the ball 330 yards, and then it's 133 into the pin, and he gets it exactly perfect. Gets it right on the pin and holds out for a 2 on that par 4. Then he birdies a par 5, birdies the par 4 9, birdies 12, which is very impressive, and then a bogey on 18 makes it a little bit worse than what it should be. The problem with Muirfield Village is that bogey on 18 that leaves a sour taste in your mouth a little bit going into Friday or going into the next day. Bogeying 18 is never fun for these guys. So unfortunate for Colin Morikawa and for Corey Connors, who both bogey 18. But it's fantastic days nonetheless for those guys, and they'll definitely be happy with how they played. Of course, Colin Morikawa is my number 4 golfer in my personal power rankings, and he is a fantastic golfer in his own right, and he is definitely in contention here. And then Victor Hovland is the last guy we'll really talk about from these leaderboards before we talk about kind of what some of the bigger names down the board here. Victor Hovland is tied for 7th now, 3 under, started his day pretty rough on the par 3-4, gets a 4 on it, bogeying it. It's unfortunate. And then he immediately goes and eagles 5. The Victor Hovland experience, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very weird scorecards every time I look at this guy. But it's 274 drive to kind of laying up drive here before the creek right in front of him. And then a 250 into the green. Gets it pretty great. Gets the shot within, I would say 15 feet was the putt that he had, and then sinks the 15-footer to get an eagle on 5. Brings him to 1 under. Birdie 7, another par 5 that he was good on. Bogeys 10 on the turn, but 13 and 14 were both birdies as well, and he finishes his day at 3 under. He's definitely in contention. The reigning champion at the Memorial Golf at Muirfield Village. He's definitely happy with how he played. And a lot of guys played very well. Eric Cole was pretty much the leader for most of the day. He had one of the earlier tee times, and he was at 5 under after 16, and then kind of a meltdown on 17 and 18. Bogey and then a double, and now he's 2 under. A little bit farther back now is Eric Cole at 2 under here in the group of tied for 12th right now. Rory McIlroy is in this group, one of the biggest names at Muirfield Village this weekend, coming in as the world golfer number 3. This scorecard is wild. Bogey 2, birdie 5, birdie 10, bogey 11, double bogey 12, birdie 13, birdie 15, birdie 16, birdie 17, and then pars 18 to finish 2 under. Somehow that's what that comes out to. He, on 3 holes, goes 4 under, and then on 5 holes on 6 holes gets birdies to get to 2 under. Wild experience Rory McIlroy had today. Tomorrow he needs to be a lot more consistent, and he needs to settle down a little bit. When we're looking at these bogeys, it was just bad around the green play. But a lot of on 11 and 12 both, he ended up in the water for both of these. 12, it's a little bit harder to end up in the water, or it's worse if you end up in the water. On 12, than it is on 11 because that is the entire. It's a par 3 and that's the entire hole is water. So that's why he ends up with a double bogey on 12. Rory McIlroy finishing today 2 under, still definitely in contention. The world golfer number 3 can definitely win at Muirfield Village. He has not ever been able to do that, but having good consistent play at Muirfield Village in the past, he's definitely one that can come out and win this tournament this weekend. Tony Finau 1 under today. Max Homa finished 1 under today. Justin Thomas finished 1 under today. This is what I love about having a full field finally for the first time in like a month. I actually have people to talk about finally. I love the Memorial, and this is kind of why a lot of people get up for it. But the cut line right now as it stands is looking at around like 4 over. That is a major cut line. Let me tell you, that is a Masters type of cut line. So a lot of guys that look are definitely in danger of being cut. Justin Rose today did really bad. Former winner here at Muirfield Village, ended up 8 over, shooting an 80. Mackenzie Hughes, after a pretty good weekend at the RBC Canadian Open, finished 6 over. Brian Harmon 5 over. Chris Kirk 6 over. Wyndham Clark finished 5 over. There's something wrong with Wyndham Clark's swing. He probably will be my next up on the breakdown kind of the individual golfers. Next Tuesday I'll probably get into him. Ricky Fowler finished 4 over. Davis Riley, who just won a couple of weeks ago, 3 over. Patrick Cantlay, winner here at the Memorial, finished 3 over, looking like he won't be back to take if he gets top 3, he overtakes Tiger Woods as the highest earning player at Muirfield Village. Looks like that won't happen though. Looks like Tiger's record is safe for another year at least. Jordan Spieth 2 over. Will Zalatoris 2 over. Jason Day at his home course finished 1 over. Hideki Matsuyama, as he tees up for the first time in a while, finished 1 over. Cam Davis 1 over. Sahith Theegala 1 over. Matt Fitzpatrick 1 over. And that's really the biggest names on this leaderboard and how they shaped up. A lot of big guys, a lot of big names here. So that'll wrap it up for our second segment, talking about Thursday's leaderboard. When I come back, we'll be talking about Live Golf Houston and what that course is looking like as they tee off for the first time in about a month.